Hello everyone and welcome to my review of the Dell OptiPlex 9020 Micro. But first of all, what is the Dell OptiPlex 9020 Micro? It is a micro PC meant for the office, so for the business side of the market and not really for the mainstream consumer market. Even though I don't really see why, but I will talk about that a little bit later. So let's just start with the review. The first thing we should check, do we have all the ports we would expect from an office desktop PC? So let's just start with that. On the front we have a power button, status LED, headphone jack, microphone jack, two USB 3.0 ports and a few slits for the ventilation. On the left and right side there is nothing. On the back we have a display port, VGA, four USB 3.0 ports, a place to connect the Wi-Fi antenna, a few options to secure the device and an Ethernet port. So that's pretty much all we have. Should be good enough for every desktop PC, I guess. Otherwise it is very small, it is very compact and doesn't really weigh a lot. So you can stash pretty much everywhere. You can also attach it with the Visa mount behind your laptop, behind your monitor or anywhere else. So everything here is covered and everything here is fine. The next thing I want to talk about now is the performance. We are using an Intel i5 4690T, which is a low voltage desktop grade CPU meant for micro PCs. Besides that, we have the Intel HD 4600 graphics card with Intel QuickSync support. That is especially helpful for video rendering. Also 8GB of RAM and the 120GB SSD with read speeds of about 480 megabytes per second and write speeds of about 320 megabytes per second. So everything I threw at this device, video rendering, office load stuff like Microsoft Office, Google Drive and everything else worked without any problems because we have 8GB of RAM. This should be good enough for all the loads you could expect to do. So all in all, this is a very powerful, capable office machine and I don't really see any trouble. I would almost even say it is overkill for normal office loads, but if you plan on doing a bit more powerful stuff, this is definitely a device to go for. So we now know we have a very powerful and capable device, but what about the heat and noise? And that is one thing I have to say I'm actually very surprised by, because I did a CPU burn-in test, half an hour of 100% CPU load, and the device never managed to get over 59 degrees. But that is not the surprising thing. The surprising thing is the noise, because the device is noticeable all the time, very subtle with a slightly rattling fan speed. But the good thing here is this fan speed never changes, because even with 59 degrees of temperature, the device stayed at the same noise level. And that is quite nice, because I think in every office environment, it won't bother you at all. You won't even hear it. You will hear it in a complete silent room, but in any normal loud room, you won't even distinct this one out. And that is very surprising, because we don't just have a good temperature level, but also a very good noise level, even though not silent. Okay, I think it's time to wrap this whole thing up and talk about who I think this device is meant for. First of all, it is very small, it is very silent, it does a good job, it has a great amount of ports, it has all you need. I would like to see maybe HDMI, but you can get this optional for 40 euros, this is no problem. Otherwise you have pretty much all I would expect from a device like this. So yes, of course it is meant for offices and it does a very great job here, because you can mount it behind every monitor. It isn't obtrusive at all since it is so small and quiet. But I also think it would be good for a mainstream consumer market, because it is a very small PC and I think a lot of people would like to have this at home as their main PC. It does all they need, it is very capable, so I don't really see why it is marketed only as an office desktop PC. Maybe because of the price, I can't really tell how much a company actually pays for such a device. I saw prices between 500 and 1000 euros, so maybe that's a little bit too much for the normal mainstream desktop PC at home. For the office, I think they can get away with that, because the components, if you look at them itself, are very expensive, because everything is so small. And at least in this whole package, I think it's a very solid package. It doesn't have really any flaws, so I definitely can recommend it for every office user if he wants to spend that much amount of money, if he needs such a powerful device. If you need something maybe less powerful, you can get away with other stuff, but otherwise this thing, for what it is, does a really good job and can definitely be recommended. This was my review of the Dell OptiPlex 9020 Micro. If you liked the review, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, reshare this video, and I see you next time. Bye.